Good morning, ARAC family. I'm sitting here in my vehicle waiting for a morning meeting and just taking some time to think. And one of the things that's occurred to me that you might find, or I hope that you find helpful, was this difference between I have to and I get to. I don't know how you face most of your days, but for the most part, when I get up in the morning, I think of all the things I have to do that day. I think of the meetings that I have to be in, the things that I have to run, the events that I have to coordinate, the tasks that I have to do at home. And I kind of have this mental checklist and sometimes an actual checklist of all the things that I have to do today. Now, there's an exception to that. Sometimes when I'm on vacation or I have a day off where there's really nothing scheduled, I wake up and I think, what do I get to do today? And one is very negative in the general sense of, okay, I have to get all these things done. The other is positive because it has this sense of freedom of, what do I get to do today? I'd be curious to see how often you see your days that way. And I wonder what would change if we began to see our days as I get to days rather than I have to days. Let me give you an example. If I go through a day knowing that I have some meetings today, that I have to meet with a whole bunch of different people, that I have something going on in the evening, that I have to spend some time studying, and that I got some chores to do, it can feel like an overwhelming day. But what if I started to say things or frame them out a little bit differently? Like, hey, God, this is a new day where I actually get to impact other people by what I say. God, today's a day I actually get to change someone's life and show them their love by listening to their stories. God, I get to make an impact in my job. Even though I'm sitting through these meetings, I actually get to be someone different because I'm showcasing my integrity and how I'm doing my job. I get to encounter people and use that to spur me to pray for them. I get to do, and you can just fill in the blank. There's lots of ways to say, God, I get to hear you today and see what you're going to do. I get to try different things that'll stretch me and make me grow. I get to do different things today in my life. I get to do chores that actually show my spouse how much I love them. I get opportunities to speak loving words into people's life. What might change in our days if we actually approach them as an I get to attitude? Now, this isn't just simply a change in perspective of trying to just think differently, although that's part of it. But I think in order to do this well, there's a couple of underlying assumptions or beliefs that we have to have, especially as those who follow Jesus. If we want to live each day like I get to do all these things, then we have to believe that God actually wants to be engaged with us in every part of our day, so that we're actually looking and seeking for him. And that means that we also have to trust that he's in our corner. He's not out today to try and teach us a lesson as much as he wants to walk through the day with us. And we might learn, but the goal of Jesus is to be with us, to have us encounter him more deeply. If I have that perspective, then as I go through my day and say, all right, I wake up in the morning like a day like today, where I'm sitting and waiting for my day, maybe I think, okay, God, what do I get to do today? And it might change how we face things that are difficult. Because when we have a tough meeting or a horrible work day or a situation that we don't enjoy or another one of those interminable watching our kids go to practice, we actually get to say, I get to see my child move to the next stage of their development, or I get to interact with people who don't know Jesus. So maybe our prayer as we go through each day, maybe my prayer, should be more in line with, God, use whatever you have today for me, because then I get to see you work. Use the things I normally worry about to show me how to trust you more. Use the things that the people that frustrate me to challenge me to pray, so I get to see what you're doing in their lives. Use the frustrations that I normally struggle with on a day like today to actually encourage me to seek you and to pray more often during the day. I wonder what would change. Would we become more fruitful, more joyful? I'm not sure. But I would encourage you to try to live today as an I get to, not a have to. Till next week, see you then.